everyone, Pineapple here with the second episode of One Piece Season 2, Good Whale Hunting, adapting the Reverse Mountain arc. Last time we had the beginning and the end, setting up Baroque Works as the season villains, some more marine characters, and the crew made their way through Logue Town, ready for the Grand Line. But how smooth will their transition be? Let's find out as we get into the episode. So we start where we left off, slowly heading up towards Reverse Mountain. Some have their doubts, but they trust in Nami's theorizing that they'll be pulled up and into the Grand Line. Zoro's a bit bitchy, but they end up going through with it. The only downside I see in dodging Warship Island is that in this version, we don't get to see Nami execute a man as they go up. Now, the trip up and down Reverse Mountain takes about 8 minutes of the episode, and a couple of bits of green screen look a bit obvious. But in general, the CGI looks pretty good. The action between Luffy having to direct them at a point, Sanji, Zoro, and Nami making their way across the boat is all played pretty well. I like that they make sure to give Usopp a couple lines that shows connection to the Merry, and the look of the Reverse Mountain in general just feels very well translated. Especially as the crew marvel at it. Nami and Luffy's reaction very sweet, and as they come down, Usopp's terror as the boys have fun is well played. Suddenly, at the end of the river is a very large whale, that while Luffy tries his best to move, both asking nicely and then assaulting him, stays in position and swallows the Merry up, giving us a good title card based on the Rum Bar Pirates. A pretty strong opening for the episode. We get a Dadan reference as Luffy wakes up on the shore. Well, no, the top of the nearby cliffs by a lighthouse, waking up to the vision of the cut-up whale slamming himself into the Rock of the Red Line. Luffy unable to make any headway in freeing the Merry. An old man appears, Crocus, played by Clive Russell, immediately antagonizing and then trying to wave off Luffy as he sedates the whale to stop its attacks. And as if the ship swallowing didn't help sell the scale of the soon-to-be-named Laboon, the syringe being quite sizable in the arms of a man, becoming a speck compared to the whale, is a very good way to show it. Luffy badgers Crocus all the way to his lighthouse door, and Crocus is a bit of a grump, basically telling Luffy to piss off, and that everyone is dead as doornails. But we switch to inside Laboon, the crew's safe and intact, at least for now. Stuck in Laboon's stomach acid, surrounded by other rotting ships. You know that must cause some kind of indigestion. Zoro is still bitching, while Usopp and Sanji traverse the surrounding wrecks for repair pieces. Back in Logue Town, Smoker tells Tashigi to get ready to head out for the Grand Line, not bothering to follow protocol, so good thing Garp rocks up to put him in his place. Followed by two cool cameos in Helmeppo and Kobe. They don't do much this episode, but it's nice to see them and they hype up Tashigi well in a scene later. Garp needs to privately talk to Smoker, but that's tabled as Crocus is utterly failing to ignore Luffy, who busts down his door and enters his house once we get some clever foreshadowing in a newspaper. Luffy basically tells Crocus to shove it and help him, so Crocus, still prickly, agrees to help. We jump back to Logue Town. Wow, the cutting back and forth is a bit all over the place this episode, as Garp and Smoker snark off, entertaining enough to watch as they jab at each other, Garp about losing the Straw Hats and Smoker had the appearance of Dragon. But Smoker is resolute he needs to go after Luffy before he becomes the next Gold Roger. An experienced Garp knows something about as he seems really sad having no idea whether they made it through Reverse Mountain or not. More interested in Dragon's revolutionary army and Alabaster's plight, and if Smoker wants to go gallivanting in the Grand Line, there are bigger fish to fry. Garp filling him in on Baroque Works, while Sanji and Usopp find the spare piece they're looking for, but are intercepted by the playing dead Mr. Nine, who gets a short but fun fight with Sanji.
It's the round piece.
Well, actually no, it's One Piece. While that's going on, Zoro is proud of his new plan, including a Monster House reference. But Nami comes under attack from Miss Wednesday. Great, another Netflix Wednesday that is totally lesbian coded, that will under no certain terms ever be given a girl romance. The fight between them is pretty good, not sure what is making Zoro take his time, or why Nami is so okay with Miss Wednesday advancing on her with a deadly weapon at the end. I guess she couldn't look away from her eyes or some gay shit. But thanks to the return of the men, Sanji looking very happy to see the girl-on-girl, fight that is, both Mr. Nine and Miss Wednesday are taken into custody. Now Mr. Nine is played by Daniel Lasker and is very fun. The pompous and self-aggrandizing twink is annoying as he should be. He gets better moments next episode, but the comedy of his patheticness plus a fun fight is well done. Miss Wednesday, or as we'll know next episode, Vivi, is played by Charithra Chandran, and she plays the Miss Wednesday persona quite well, and later in the season we'll get some great moments as Vivi, some I think even better the way they have her involved than in the manga. But I do have to say, with the reduced episode count, she does feel a little too quickly part of the crew dynamic for someone who keeps going, oh, I'll totally leave soon. Sure, the longer anime episode count doesn't necessarily mean she is more involved, but the time investment of that compared to one season of this does help you associate her better. Crocus starts making more sedatives so Luffy can get close to Laboon, and Crocus gives him Laboon's backstory. One day, the Rumbar pirates playing their favourite song, Bink Sake. Yes, I'm a sub-watcher, it's Bink Sake. The Rumbar pirates stop and are followed by Laboon, repairing their ship by the lighthouse in return for gifting Crocus some grog. So while I'm pretty sure he's meant to be like 20 years old, he still looks at least 60. On the crew as the main characters are Captain Calico Yorkie and holy shit, Brook? Okay, so live action watchers maybe skip ahead a bit, but I am fucking overjoyed to see Brook along with Bink Sake, considering I've recently gotten past Impel Down, so Thriller Bark was only a little while back. But I am so happy to see Marshall T. Batchman here as Brook, singing to Laboon instead of waiting all the way till Thriller Bark to get the reveal.
After all is said and done, you'll end up a skeleton.
Say that again?
Crocus fearmongers Yorkie into wanting to part with the Laboon, so they manage to get Crocus to agree to look after him. The Rumbar pirates leaving, with Brook telling him they'll be right back. Yeah, no. So while he is a little ugly, yes, he's a bulbously headed whale, the shots of Laboon crying are utterly heartbreaking. Get that shit off my screen, I don't want to cry. Luffy sympathizes with Laboon as Shanks used to sing the song to him, but the story gets sadder as Crocus reveals he's sure from sources the Rumbar pirates are dead and gone. And he told Laboon this, but Laboon believes in what Brook told him, and refuses to give up, bashing his head into the red line, trying to get through all these years. We even get to see his first injuries made, blood in the water. It's miserable.
Stop it!
Crocus knows that the sedative will stop working soon due to how much he has to sedate him. Even more parallels between Luffy and Laboon, well done.
Get him to accept his crew is gone.
You wouldn't accept it?
As Usopp fixes the Merry, the rest of the crew interrogate the assassins, the slip of the tongue from Mr. Nine cluing Zoro in to them being Baroque works. Garp telling Smoker all about them, well, as much as they know, with a really nice projected Den Den Mushi. Tashigi blundering in, not as good at eavesdropping as Kobe was. But at the end, Garp sends Smoker to go capture an assassin alive so they can figure out who the leader, Mr. Zero, is. Back with the interrogation, we get some good laughs, and now new character cards instead of wanted posters, which look great. And the fourth wall gags this season are on point as Zoro grabs the cards and throws them away, while Vivi clues us in on the log pose while she keeps belittling Nami. Sort of like an unhealthy little boy unable to work through his feelings insults his first crush, repeatedly insulting her. Laboon starts crashing again, Usopp almost dying, but as much as they try, I was more focused on the outside, as it kind of felt like a given he would be saved with little stakes. I mean, Usopp's flailing around is kind of more of a detriment to him than the crash that sent him falling in the first place. But when the sedative fails, Luffy instead takes the direct approach, getting Laboon's attention with an eye poke and calming him down by singing a little rendition of Bink Sake that reminds Laboon of his crew. Jesus, it's sad, especially as you hear an echo of Brook's violin. Luffy uses his experience experienced have a heart-to-heart with Laboon, so Laboon lets the crew go while the old man and the whale have a good cry. And apparently, some people don't like this change. But in the original, Luffy smacks Laboon around to get him to stop. This is infinitely better as a resolution. My only problem is with the distance, how the hell is Crocus hearing all of this? Back in Logtown, Kobe clocks Toshigi spying immediately, Helmeppo well showing off his now very healthy relationship with Kobe and people in general. Malfoy no longer. Sure, I'm still not that into Toshigi, but the scene between the two, Kobe sort of passing the torch of the main Mika Marine of the story, while helping her find confidence in herself and her dream. Nami lets Vivi's insults get to her, but Crocus offers up a spare log pose for the crew as they poke fun of the anime version of events. But with her crew's support, especially Zoro who is no longer being bitchy, they head towards the next island, ready to drop the assassin duo the first chance they get. They say a really nice goodbye to Laboon as Luffy paints their Jolly Roger on his head to stop him from harming himself. Another very sweet moment. And Smoker heads in the Grand Line's direction, but Toshigi isn't taking his shit. Once again, Smoker gets a good moment of initially showing his hard-assery, but immediately folding when he realizes Toshigi is ready, and I love her dance even if Smoker doesn't.
And don't do a little dance.
The episode ends with Nami doing some cartography, and Crocus wonders out loud to the portrait of his old friend Roger if the Straw Hats will be the first to find the One Piece. So once again, with good whale hunting, we have a great adaptation, this one remarkably improved in aspects. Much like last episode, bits and pieces from later in the show like Laugh Tale are integrated well, hints to the overall arc are nice, and while the cutting around was a little obnoxious in the middle there, the divided stories, while annoying to write in review format, worked fine while watching. The Garp and Cadet duo cameos were fun, and do well to smoothly transition our marine presence to Smoker and Toshigi, even if they aren't paid off the best in this season, like Garp came around at the end of the last season. They still have more to do next season, but I do appreciate the world-spanning feeling they're trying to convey, instead of fully staying focused on the one location the Straw Hats are in 100% of the time. This episode was emotionally strong, gives us more exposition about our antagonists, and both continues on from and leads us into next episode pretty well. Thank you everybody for watching my review of Good Whale Hunting. Please like the video if you liked it, comment down below if you wish, consider subscribing to the channel, and if you do, ring the notification bell so that you're told every single time that I make an upload. Once again, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next review. Bye!
Toast. A little piece of toast. Because there's so much to choose from. There's brown bread, white bread, all sorts of wholemeal bread. It comes in funny packages with writing on the side.